I don't, speech scatters energy, so I don't want to like use up a lot of energy on something that I wasn't like sort of prompted to talk about. But like it's something that I wrote about a lot in long ago when I was writing online that landed me a thing. I want to tell you something about Obama's meeting with Harry Reid, and it says they're going to talk about glitches. Okay, I want to tell you something about what is my whole thing. Like, I'm really into like the World War I era. This is important to this. Okay, the World War I era. My grandfather fought in World War I. Okay, here's the thing. Like, he did. A lot of people don't have you have a father that's really old, have a grandfather who fought in World War I. But here's what I'm getting at. Okay, here's the thing with and as a writer, okay, that's what I started as. Oh, that was the era when a lot of the writers, like Sherwood Anderson and stuff, had nervous breakdowns, okay? And the reason for that is, and that you could read about it, like, the experience they had of World War I was that was the first time in American history that the political class began speaking to the population purely in the abstract. That is to say, like, they were no longer saying things that had, like, some kind of specific meaning. This was also the time of, like, we're going to fight a war, like, we're defending democracy. Like, meaning what? Like, exactly. Like, they began speaking in the abstract. And so people who are, like, writers and take words seriously, Sherwood Anderson was found in a state where he was, like, sort of, like, delirious on the railroad tracks. Like, he had to be put in a sanitarium. Like, this is the thing. He wrote Winesburg, Ohio after that. But here's the thing. Like, what's going on is, right, when they talk, let me tell you something. What was the entire, they're playing a game all the time. They've been playing it since World War I, but it drives people psycho and paranoid and frustrated and drives them into a state of futility about things. They're talking about the healthcare bill, like, they're going to go behind closed doors and talk about the glitches. Okay, they're negotiating that it has to do with glitches. Okay, listen, when people don't know what that means. There's language in the healthcare bill. You can have an open discussion about what language each senator wants changed that would fix these problems. No, they're just saying things like, it harms the unions, or this, or it's this, or it's that, or they're glitches, or we're having an ideological battle. They're speaking entirely in the abstract about legislation. That meaning the language that could be talked about and what they want changed or what they want taken out to make it work. Okay, but here's the thing: this has been going on since World War I. But I'll give you the example of when Obama was elected. Do you know what people perceived was happening? Because being like a guy who was like, people thought I didn't like Obama, right? You know what they said? You don't understand, Steve. What's happening is George Bush made a mess, but Obama's gonna clean it up. See, but he has to smooth things over, Steve. He has to clean up the mess. This is their understanding of like geopolitical things, and what's going to be different under Obama is he's going to clean up messes. He's going to smooth it over. Now what's going on? They're going to talk about the glitches. I mean, they speak entirely in the abstract, but what they're talking about, like, for example, what was Obama going to do differently internationally? Well, there is such a thing as international law. Like, there's language there. This is a health bill. I read a lot of it. It's a lot of language. Some of it should be changed. Some of it should be removed to solve the problems of people who are affected negatively, but it's simply a matter of the language in the bill. They've been doing a game for the whole century where they talk to the population completely in the abstract. It's the source of a great deal of paranoia. By the way, using the word socialism all the time, and when people think it means like the government owns everything, or like so you can no longer talk to anyone about anything because they're using ism words. This is what's been going on for the whole century, and until someone notices it or realizes that that's what's happening, that we have a language game going on, is this will just continue to be that way. Okay, read Wittgenstein. We've talked about this, right? People reading a book, right? How how does he know he's reading? What's reading? How do you know you're reading? I mean, people who are concerned with language and like language games and like how people use language and legislation that has language in it that could be changed in different ways, they are literally doing what they've always done. They talk to the population in the abstract. People come to bugged out conclusions. No one can agree. But what's going on behind closed doors is not that they're negotiating, because they're not talking about changing language in the bill, because then we'd still have it. It would just be like, these are the changes we've made to the bill. No. They must be talking about like what kind of rhetoric to use when they come out from behind the curtain.